Okay, guys, welcome to my first commentary video. I wanted to tell you guys a story of something that happened to me earlier this week. So about 2 weeks ago, they sent out this post on Schoology, and it was like, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So what we're gonna do is make like these album covers describing each teacher. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And then of course I just forgot about it because I had other things going on, like math tests that I was failing and all that kind of stuff. So the week after that, I was like, "Oh yeah, there's this post. I should sign up for a teacher." But most of the teachers were already signed up for it, and all the ones that were left were like the less popular ones that less people have, like elective teachers and all that kind of thing. But Samira Radke was on there, so I was like, "Oh, I had Samira Radke for 2 years. I could probably do her." So I made this, and I think it turned out pretty good. I put some of her favorite songs, picture. I think it turned out really good. But the thing is, I signed up for a ramp time to finish it. I've been working on this for days, so I thought I could just finish it up real quick. But then they're like, "Uh-oh, we need some people to do the teachers that are left." And this kid who signed up for Mr. Brown just kind of bailed at the last second or something. I don't know. He didn't make one. So they were like, "Who here has Mr. Brown?" And I was like, "I have Mr. Brown." So Mrs. Lewis asked me to make one. So I made this, added some of his favorite stuff, all his different animals, plants, and all that kind of thing. So then after that, I thought I was gonna be done. So like I was just working on my other two albums, but then they're like, oh, we need someone to do Mrs. Fulton Reed because no one else. She was the very last teacher. No one else had signed up for her. So I was like, Brady was like, I could do it. Brady Bowers, but I thought I'd heard some stuff about Mrs. Fulton Reed and Brady hadn't really. So I was like, I could probably do Mrs. Fulton Reed pretty good. So I was like, I can start that. So what do I know about Mrs. Fulton Reed? Okie dokie. Her last name is Fulton Reed. So we'll start there. What does she teach? She teaches history and English. So I added that too. I added the date. And then I was like, okay, songs. And I asked some kids, like, and some of her coworkers, like, what kind of stuff does she like? And one kid's like, I think she likes golf. So I just went and I was like, the golf song. One kid's like, I think she likes baseball. So I was like, take me out to the ball game. And that was another one. I was like, okay, I just got to do a couple more. And I was like, okay, so she went to Ferris State University. I knew that because I've been to her ramp times. So I added Ferris Fidelity because that is actually a song that the pep band plays there. And I played it. It's a cool song. So then I was like, what else? Okay, she's an English teacher. So I like English. That works. And books for the win. I was like, that's looking pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for making it in like 2 minutes. So I tried to keep talking, like figuring out, like, what should I do? I should probably get him like a picture of Mrs. Fulton Reed, right? And then one kid said she liked Tiger Woods, so I added that picture of Tiger Woods, and like, I don't know if that's true, but we're just gonna assume it is. And so back to the picture. I needed a picture of Mrs. Fulton Reed, of Danielle Fulton Reed. So I was looking that up. Guess what came up? Absolutely zero results. Some did, but none had a picture. So I was just like, what do I do? She's like a middle-aged woman. So I just looked up a middle-aged woman and went to images and took a random picture offline, saved it, and went over here and I just went to uploads, upload file, took it, recent, blah, 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 loading, load. There we go. Okay. So I just took that picture and I slapped it in the middle. And I was like, I'll probably get a real picture of her eventually. So this should be my placeholder till then. Long story short, I never got a picture. So I just was like, okie dokie. No one else in the school is gonna make her anything. So I'm just gonna send this in since I can't get a picture. And I sent this to Mrs. Lewis. I go here. I put my one for Senior Radke. She says, "Great, thanks." I said, "Here are the other two. I did Fulton Reed and Mr. Brown." I actually had to resend Mrs. Fulton Reed's because the first time it auto added a period, and I was like, "This just makes it look even worse." So I resent it without the period, and it looks quite a bit better, even though the fonts are kind of terrible. I don't know. So Mrs. Lewis goes, Who is that a picture of? And I'm just like, www.google.org. And it actually made it a link. So she must have clicked on it because she goes, that doesn't tell me who that's a picture of. And I was like, the new rules of middle age written by women, WSJ, and sent her a screenshot of what I looked up, a middle-aged woman in a random picture that kind of but doesn't really look like her. And you know what she goes? I expect her to get so mad, but she goes, okay. And then that was the end. She was just totally fine with it. And I was just like, hopefully Mrs. Fulton Reed doesn't care. And then in a live stream later that day, I was talking to a kid who has Mrs. Fulton Reed, and I was showing him all my album covers, and, well, this is what he said.
Wait, so Miss Four Reads is not a picture of her. What you gonna think about that? Just ask if you can get a picture of her.
I tried to get one. I couldn't get one. I bet you what Mrs. Lewis will do, hopefully what she'll do, is just take an actual picture of Mrs. Fulton Reed and put it on top and keep the rest the same. Maybe not. Maybe Brady will end up making one. Maybe she'll use that instead. I have no idea what happens. But if you ever see this on her door or wherever else she put it, I was never here.